Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Pay Dirt battle time again. And this time we're going to be battling 2 bags of pay dirt with no guaranteed set amount of gold. So this could end up being a very disappointing battle, but I'm hoping for a decent result because both of these bags do have Paystreak in their title, and that's PayStreakPaydirt.com versus PayStreakProspecting.com. Now, I have reviewed Paystreak Prospecting before. I don't know if I've reviewed this actual bag, but it is their 3-pound bag, and it's going to be versing the Paystreak Paydirt's 5-pound Eldorado bag. But let's just flash up the description for both bags, go to the overhead, and check them out a little bit closer. Now, as you saw, they both have very wordy descriptions, but the Paystreak Paydirt doesn't actually say anything. It tells you that it has twice the amount of gold as a normal bag, but then later on in the description, it also tells you that they don't seed their paydirt. So how can you double the gold if you don't seed it? It also tells that the material could come from streams or boulders or bedrock, or multiple other places. So not a lot of information other than that it's 3 pounds and it has been screened down. For the Paystreak Prospecting, they actually have a good description. It tells you that the gold you might find will be from finds all the way up to pickers, that it's from Arizona, and that it is 3 pounds of material, and that they also clean the material so it's not full of twigs and leaves and stuff. But let's weigh them both up, see if they are the 5 and 3 pounds stated. Paystreak Paydirts, 5 pounds, 2.3 ounces. 3 pounds, 2.6 ounces. Now they both did come double bagged in Ziploc bags. Let's open them up. See what we got here. And I will rinse out the bags before the end of the video to make sure I don't lose any gold, or if any gold is trapped in the bags, I recover it. So definitely some darker material here from the Paystreak Paydirt. Looks like paydirt, so it doesn't look like play sand or anything else like that. And this does look like typical Arizona paydirt. Maybe not as dark as I'm used to, but I have purchased from this seller before, and it does ship from Arizona. So there you go. Now I'm going to go classify these both down, and we'll be right back. Okay, all done classifying, and that actually took a while, and not because there's a lot of material to classify, even though there is. What took so long is that the Paystreak Paydirt stinks. It is absolutely horrible. It took me a little bit of time to figure out what the scent was, but it smells like burning tires, or if you're familiar with them, skunk. It's really, really bad. I had to keep taking breaks because as the material moves, it just hits you in your face that this material is either from a tire pit or a skunk den. So not off to a good start for the Paystreak Paydirt. And as you can see, it is pretty equal amounts, maybe less in the -40, but that's actually pretty good because again, this has no guaranteed set amount of gold. It doesn't guarantee any gold. So you don't want to be panning out a lot of fine material to not find anything. Now for the Paystreak Prospecting, again, pretty equal amounts. Really good. And it was easy to classify. It had almost no dust. When I got to the -40, it was a little bit dusty, but it definitely is a little bit cleaner of material. And it wasn't sprayed with the skunk before they put it in a bag. Now, unfortunately, I did not see any gold when I was classifying either one of these bags, so I'm a little bit worried that I might not find any gold. But there's really only one way to find out, and that's to pan it out. So let's go get some water and do just that. Well, finished painting everything out as you saw, and one of those was pretty easy and the other one was actually a little bit difficult, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For right now, let's show you the gold I found. And first, we have the Paystreak Pay Dirt, and we only found gold in one classification. So the other three was purely just for entertainment. There was no gold in them. While in the Paystreak Prospecting, I found gold in 3 classifications. The only one I didn't find gold in was the plus 10. So much happier about panning that material out and finding gold in 3 classifications. Now let's weigh up the Paystreak Pay Dirt. And again, this is double the gold that you would typically get. 0.125 grams. Or 0.130, let's see. 0.125, I think I just touched it then. And now we're going to weigh up the Paystreak Prospecting. And this is the minus 10 plus 20. 0.185, so it's already winning. And we still got 2 more classifications to go. Minus 20 plus 40, 0.10, and we're just going to dump in the minus 40 because I don't think it's going to budge the scale. Add in the bigger gold, let's see what our total is. 0.300 grams, so more than double from the Paystreak Pay Dirt. And now, let's talk about how difficult both of these bags were. Now for the Paystreak Pay Dirt, this stuff was really easy to pan out. The hardest thing about it was that it does cloud up the water a little bit, and then it's 5 pounds of material. But all of the gold is in one classification, and there's not very much of it. So for a beginner, I would give this an easy, and for an advanced or expert panner, this is easy as well. Meanwhile, the Paystreak Prospecting bag was a little bit harder. The material was much cleaner, but it did have some black sands in it. I know I forgot to use the magnet earlier in the video, but as you saw in the minus 20 plus 40 and the minus 40 had a lot of black sands in it, and a lot of that was magnetized. And again, there was a lot of material with this bag. So for a beginner, I would give this a medium, and it's pretty high up on the scale. For an advanced panner, it is easy, but again, it's all the way at the top of the scale. So if you're just got into advanced panning, it would probably be a medium for you, but otherwise it's an easy. And for an expert panner, this is easy material to go through. All right, finished calculating my ROIs, writing up my review, and let's see who won this battle. If you already don't know, I think it's pretty conclusive just from the piles of gold, but you never know. Let's get into the numbers. Now, again, I went through 2 bags of pay dirt, one from PaystreakPaydirt.com and the other one from PaystreakProspecting.com. Now, the Paystreak Pay Dirt was $39.99 with free shipping, while the Paystreak Prospecting was $39.95, again with free shipping. Now the gold spot on the day that both of these bags were ordered by my secret shopper was $56.94. Now with the Paystreak Pay Dirt, I recovered 0.125 grams of gold, and with the spot price of $56.94, I recovered $7.12 worth of gold. While with the Paystreak Prospecting, I recovered 0.30 grams of gold, and with the same spot price of $56.94, I recovered $17.08, giving me ROIs of 17.80% and 42.75%. So definitely for ROI, the win goes to Paystreak Prospecting. Now for fun factor, Paystreak Pay Dirt, I'm going to drop them down. I'm actually going to give them a 0. If this bag is double the gold, they state they don't add gold, but yet none of the gold was in the minus 40. This was all chunkier sized gold. It's not a good pay dirt. I'm dropping their fun factor down to a 0. For the Paystreak prospecting, I'm actually going to leave it the exact same as the ROI at a 4.3, giving them the win again for fun factor. Now for pay dirt description, I'm going to give the PayStreak Pay Dirt a 4. It does give you a little bit of information, but it definitely needs more. While the PayStreak Prospecting gives you a lot more information, it definitely still could use a little bit of help. So I'm giving them an 8 and the win again. Quantity and packaging was pretty much identical. They both came in Ziploc bags and were double bagged. But the PayStreak Prospecting was actually wrapped a third time in a Tyrax bag before it was put into the mailer. So I'm giving them a 9.5 while I'm giving the PayStreak Pay Dirt an 8.5. So yet again, the win goes to PayStreak Prospecting. And lastly, for customer service and shipping, PayStreak Pay Dirt is getting a 5. 10 for shipping because it shipped out really quickly by priority mail. But unfortunately, they never replied to 2 messages that were sent to them. So they're getting a 0 for that. So 5 total. While the PayStreak Prospecting is getting an 8. They got a 10 for shipping because, again, they shipped out incredibly quickly for priority mail. But it took them almost a week to reply. So they're getting an 8 total, giving them the last win for PayStreak Prospecting. And for total scores, the PayStreak Pay Dirt gets a 3.9, a pretty dismal score for dismal pay dirt, while the PayStreak Prospecting got a 6.8. And that's not a horrible score considering that it's a very low price bag in a $40 bag. So would I order either one of these bags of pay dirt again? For the PayStreak Pay Dirt, no. It's a definite no. In fact, if you go to millerprospecting.com, my website, on the bottom left is a list of sellers that I think everyone should avoid. And this seller is on there because they own about 10 to 20 websites and all the pay dirts are the exact same, just different names. And you're going to get a very low ROI and have zero fun with any of their pay dirts. While with the PayStreak Prospecting, I probably will order from them again, but probably not this bag. I have reviewed them before, and I've actually gotten an over 100% ROI from one of their bags. This bag, though, I probably wouldn't order again. When you start getting these lower $40, $30 bags of pay dirt, it's really hard to get a really good ROI. So I probably wouldn't order either one of these bags again, but I probably would order from PayStreak Prospecting again. Now, I also need to thank today's sponsors, which are my Patreon members who allow me to do these videos and take big losses like this. So thank you all very much, including my 3 newest Patreon members, Richard Billen, Ron Green, and John Chalewski. So thank you very much for joining my Patreon page, and thank you for supporting this channel. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting that subscribe button below.